We did it. Oh, what to think, Craig? Your raw emotions.
The Detroit Lions.
Now.
Are you kidding me right now? This is not supposed to happen. This has not happened since 1970. I'm sitting here watching the celebration right now.
Wow.
The Detroit Lions just kicked a 58 and a 52-yard field goal. I think one nicked the right upright. The one almost nicked the left upright. And we found a way to win while the other team missed a 58-yarder. 5 interceptions by Jared Goff, doing a good Rodney Peete impersonation. And we win the game. I've never seen a game like this. Have you? I mean, it hasn't happened since 70. You're not that old.
No. And, when we were down, I wasn't really worried about the score. I really wasn't. Right. I thought that we've been on both sides of this. We've seen this before. But then the interceptions were just like, well, shoot. Okay, we just can't. You know what I mean?
Another bullet.
We just can't do this with the interceptions. So I think, man, there was a long stretches in between anything good happening for us. Did you notice? I mean, we all noticed it, but were you just like, I mean, I'm like in a daze, and then, okay, cool. We just popped a 15-yard run, and then it was like interception. And then it was, that was
an interception. And then we get an interception.
Yes.
And here's the thing for me, it wasn't even a daze. It was like, cause I've gone from, as a Lions fan, I've gone from no hope in years past to like, we can win any game, anytime. So I kept thinking to myself, like, we could win this. And then we kept throwing interceptions. We kept making mistakes. And I'm just like, no, I don't know if we can win this. And then we just keep happening. It just keeps happening. And I think Collinsworth said it best. He's like, no matter what happens to end this game, this team is grit. And Tirico was like, yes, this team is grit. And I couldn't say it any better than that. Nobody sticks around to win a game like this.
No. And one of the things I was looking at, and one of the turning points in this game, I felt like I was like, what's the counter to their aggressiveness? They were flying in on run plays. This like, in the play action then wasn't working either. So it was kind of a weird situation. And so we started to run some screens and some little different things. And so screens. And then I also thought, man, what a nice, you saw the, like, all right, Gibbs, we need something, man. And we put in our lightning bolt, and that dude just gave us everything he had there. I thought that was a big point in the game where it was like, we started to get some things with screens and things like that.
Yeah. And not only did we start getting screens, we started realizing, you know what? We don't have to take play action 40-yard chunk plays, 30-yard chunk plays. You know what? How about we get back to doing what we're doing? Let's just get the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown 5 to 10 yards down the field.
Yep.
And like you said, screen passes, and let's mix up the way we're running it. We'll go right at them. We'll go, maybe we'll go a little to the outside, maybe a toss, maybe a stretch, maybe a dive. And even though the run game wasn't really working, until Gibbs started taking chunk plays off, because Penei Sewell is just the greatest right tackle, the greatest tackle in football. He's unbelievable. And, you look at it, but even though we couldn't run the ball, you know who ran the ball worse than us?
That's right.
The Texans.
And
that is the key to it. But Chris, you don't lose the turnover battle like we lost the turnover battle and win a football game.
No, and it goes back to our defense. Didn't allow a point in the second half.
Not one.
And when you stop the run, it's crazy. I'm starting to get more and more into the analytics side of things, and I'm really not even just kind of observing post game some trends. And one of the trends that I've noticed is, man, if you can stop the run, that keeps you in every single game. Because think about this. They were up on us. They hit a couple runs. That game's going to be over pretty quick, but they cannot run the ball. Then it goes into CJ Stroud's hands. He, by the way, we'll get to him in just a second, but I just thought defensively, we stopped the run. Your thoughts on the defense in general?
Defensively, I don't know. Like, I understand what happened in the first half. I haven't seen a better half of football uh, from our defense.
Mm-mm.
I don't think ever. And,
Yeah.
we're sitting here and we're having this conversation. We're texting each other, right? And we're talking about like, all right, what is the title for this video going to be? And I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking about like, man, all right, we're gonna get Za'Darius is gonna be here soon, right? And like we'll finally start getting some pressure, and that'll completely change our defense. And then in the second half, we did. We
Mhm.
found a way to get pressure. We stopped the run. Like I was just amazed more than that at how many plays when CJ Stroud had time to throw, he
Yes.
threw. It was an on-target throw, but we still knocked it away.
Mhm.
Like Brian Branch with a couple, you're talking, I mean, Davis with a couple picks. You're talking, I was blown away. Even the
Yeah.
pass interference at the end on Arnold, right? Even though it wasn't called pass
Nope.
interference. I'm good with that, right? Like just phenomenal football in the secondary. I'm just amazed at how far the secondary's come.
100%. The secondary is you nailed it. I mean, he's got time. He's looking.
Ooh.
He throws it, and I mean, in your mind, because you can't on the TV, you can't see what's going to happen, and it's like, oh, this ain't good, and
Right.
we bat it down. I love that point, and I love we did get some pressures a little bit,
Yep.
and Aleem McNeil, and so
Absolutely.
man, I don't know how we stopped the run so well, but Joe Mixon's been playing really well.
Yeah.
And they're up big like that. They run the ball. This game is over, and so I just love that. And then CJ Stroud, I was kind of surprised that he didn't really play well, which he
Mhm.
had been. He just that was kind of interesting. But anyway, Jake Bates, I want to just talk about him, man.
Let's
What
talk about it.
Jake Bates is a guy that's just like, okay, I've got a monster leg,
Yeah.
and the guy, I don't know if it's almost like ignorance is bliss, where he can just like, you know what, I've never really been here before. Let's just do this, or what do you think it is where this guy can come in and just be outstanding this year?
Yeah, I think it might be a little ignorance is bliss, but I think mostly it's just he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Aubrey or whatever his name is for the Cowboys did the same thing last year, and he's
Yeah,
starting to do it this year. I think it's interesting when you get these guys that were soccer players and all of a sudden they're kicking field goals, right? I mean, the targets they were aiming for in soccer, albeit with a soccer ball, were much smaller than uprights that you have to kick it over and in
sure.
between. And so, because the goal is about the same size, but there's a goalie in it. And I know that sounds weird, and you're not gonna hear me talking smartly about soccer. But now when their job is not to worry about the rest of the game, but it's just, all right, now you're going to take that magical right leg of yours and you're going to spend all day, every day, just kicking field goals. That's all we want you to do. And that's exactly what he's doing. And you see him getting better and better and better. And what I've noticed, even in the last couple games, I don't know about you, his kicks don't have that tail on it either
Mm-hmm.
way. They're dead straight. Even on the extra points, they're dead straight. And so while he wasn't right in the middle of the uprights, it was still good enough. I'm just, when you can kick it easy and you can kick it that far, it's a little easier to be accurate, I guess. I've never seen
Man,
anything.
incredible. And
Unbelievable.
this game ranks up there. It just ranked just because it wasn't the score differential that wasn't like the craziest thing, but even that, I mean, we're down. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, it's just the fact that every time we start to get a little somewhere, we throw an interception. It's like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna run out of time here, and the defense kept us in it, and then we managed games well at the end there, and then again, Amon-Ra St. Brown with the biggest catch, of course, gets a good 15. Couple runs, kick the field goal, game over. Just incredible.
When did you, let me ask you this question, Chris. When did you start having confidence that this was a game that we could win? Like, okay, when did you think we were going to win this game, or was there ever a moment that you thought it?
Oh, there really wasn't a moment I thought we were going to win. When it really turned around was when we did hit Amon-Ra St. Brown in that little screen down by the end zone, and he wiggled his way in, and it was like, okay, we were down 10.
Yep.
It's like, I was thinking just field goal, anything, right? We just need a field goal and a touchdown. We get the touchdown, and I felt like for the Texans, that was going to really make them nervous, and of course it did. And they were tight, man. They just got tight, and that was it. So how about you? Any moment where you like, okay, I feel a lot better?
Yeah, when he makes a 58-yard field goal, that'll do it.
That was a game
And
changer.
I think it actually touched the right upright. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that was the moment. But I would say it's the same as you. Either the Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown or the first time Gibbs got loose. When he got loose and got around the edge, I'm like, all right, the body blows are starting to take their toll on this defense.
Yep.
And we did end up getting, we ran, I think 62 plays, something like that. We actually ran as many as them. I think they only ran 61, which is nuts considering we had 5 interceptions. But there was somewhat of an equalizer. So Goff threw a lot of balls in the dirt. He only threw it for 50%. He threw 5 interceptions. CJ Stroud threw 2 picks, but he also got sacked 4 times. And I think all but one of those sacks ended the drives. Like they didn't get a first down after he got sacked with the other 3. So those don't quite play like turnovers, but they're like a half a turnover.